So, greetings of the day, Mr. Dheeraj. So, first and foremost, could you please tell us about yourself and your experience, your previous experience in HR field?
Okay, good evening, first of all. So I've been into this HR domain from the past 5 years. So after completing my master's into DHR, so I joined an internship. I took the internship. I did it for 3 months, 4 months, and then again I went for internships only because that how you get to learn a lot of things. Because your
Mm.
priority should be into the HR. You have to know yourself first of all before knowing others. So
Yeah.
that's how you integrate. So I did internships. I did then like from the very associate level, I started digging into more into it, and deeper I went, and more I learned through it. So it has been a very good journey, I would say, and into the HR field, I get to learn more as I get into interaction with more and more people every day. So I interview candidates where I get to know their likes and dislikes. I can easily judge the candidates. Like uh, if I say, for example, if I have any questions in my mind, I want to ask them. So there's some scenario which I create around the candidate. So through which I can easily judge. So I think it's a very good job that I'm into it.
Okay. Cool. So, could you tell us about like what company you're currently working in and what's your role?
So I'm currently into a group of companies. So the main company which I'm working for is Material Heavy Solutions Private Limited. There are three more companies. There is Studio Medium, which is an architecture firm, and then there is the third Metro World Mall, which is like a mall itself, but there are a lot of employees there. And the last one is the Coral Realtors, which is more again into the construction specific. Material Library is a company which is like an IT platform which we are designing again for the construction stakeholders. So like I'm prioritized to focus more on the material library only.
Okay. So, now could you please tell us about your motivations that made you pursue a career in HR?
So basically, I have been always a people person. So, interacting with people and getting to know more about their dislikes, likes, what they think before doing anything. What is the idea they do anything before, like for example, if they want to do something into the life. So what is the motivating factor for them? So somehow, getting yourself into their shoes is actually quite motivating for me as well. So I think this is how I started my journey into the HR, and that's how I actually went into it. So that thing keep around evolving me around. Like I just keep on thinking it because day by day, every time you meet up people, right? You go into different cities or maybe into different countries, so you'll again meet some people. Then you'll get start to get to know them. So that's how you get to learn more and more into that. So it was my totally actually I would like say. I kind of enjoyed like while going through because I made a lot of friends in my college time. I did a lot of management where I had to manage people. So that's how I followed my passion into HR.
That sounds amazing. Now, I'd like to ask you a challenging issue that you faced when you're in HR.
Okay.
And I
So
also want to
challenging
know how
issue
you
for
oh, I'm sorry. And I also
okay.
want to know how you addressed it. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, challenging issue for any HR would be you roll out an offer to any candidate, right? And then you get to know that the candidate is not joining after getting the offer letter. So that is
Hmm.
somehow disappointing. So for that, I usually keep two, three backups. For example, if I finalize any candidate, I make sure that there are two or three more candidates which I finalize. So that just in case if one candidate leaves or there might be a case or scenario that you somehow misjudged the candidate and you offered them and then they came on board, but they're not performing as per the expectations. So you can either fire because there's some probation period which is served by the candidate in the initial days of joining, so either you can fire them or and recruit other people who have you kept in the hold. So that's how you can do it. Otherwise, there is another alternative which is quite, I would say, submissive, not dominative, because submissive in a way that you don't give the offer letter to the candidate while they are joining, and the day of the joining in the office, you can get the hard copy signed and all the other documents, for example, ND, NCA, so that they cannot leave the organization without any further notice. So that's how you
Yeah,
actually overcome this challenge. So this was the most challenging part for me, but again, with the practice, I would say things come in handy.
yeah. Um, Now I wanted to know, how do you prioritize your workload when dealing with multiple HR requests? Because as you said that you work at different companies, right? At the same time. So
Right.
I'm assuming that it's very challenging. So
So basically, I would say, if you're working for a group of companies, so like even as an HR or maybe as a any professional, I would say like you need to prioritize your work, right? You need to make sure what things come first that needs to be done at the prioritize like top priority pay. I
hmm,
have kept this one, and then on the second priority I have kept this one and the third priority. So that's how you prioritize your work. So for example, what I do first thing first in the morning, I whenever I come to office is check my emails, check my all pending works, and at the end of the day I keep some notes with me so that things which I haven't done that day I'll do that in the morning after checking the
yeah,
emails again.
hmm,
So that's how I keep my schedule tight, and yeah, so I think that's how it actually is my work.
yeah. So so could you tell me about a time when you had to handle a sensitive HR issue with discretion and confidentiality?
So regarding confidentiality, I would say, yeah, there came a time where I had to. So basically, again, confidentiality, it came at a very larger extent, I would say. So sometimes you are working for a company which is a startup, and the most uh, bad thing that can happen to you at that moment is someone can copy your idea, right? So we
Yeah,
get to sign the ND and NC at that moment. That's what I mentioned the last to last question, that
yeah,
you roll out the offer letter while on the email, and the candidate didn't join us. So what will happen? He will flee with the another offer by negotiating with what you have offered to them, right? So
yeah,
that's one of the issues. For that only, you need to get signed the NDA and NCA. So it's a non-disclosure and non-competent agreement, which
yeah,
comprise of a lot of rules and regulations, and there's some policies as well into that, which says that you cannot join any other companies which is somehow related to you to the current company that you're working in, right?
yeah.
So that was one of the challenges that I have faced once in the past, I would say.
So now I wanted to know like what your method is when it comes to conflict resolution between employees. So
Okay, so first thing you need to address how the conflict arises, right? What is the
yeah,
thing that, for example, might be a time that two employees might not be agreeing on to the same thing, right? So it
hmm,
could be a challenge. So again, you need to understand if that challenge, whatever the conflict is arising, is it really logical? Is it should arise or not? Right? If it
yeah,
again a personal thing, then they need to solve it somehow after the working hours, right? Otherwise,
yeah,
you can take strict actions against both if something is personal that is being involved with the working hours. So that's how you need to actually make sure that all the employees whatsoever are working with you. So they need to understand something that is personal and something that is professional. So you need to understand the barrier between them, and you need to draw a boundary line as well. So
yeah,
whenever you are hiring any candidate, you need to make sure that you implement the policies, and you tell the ideas of and the intent of the professionalism on the very first day, so that even in the near future, whenever the things arise, they are already ready to take whatever the consequences it will be, right? So
yeah.
that's how I solve the conflicts.
Okay. So now I wanted to ask, how do you approach recruitment and retention efforts?
So recruitment comes like first of all, you need to understand the business, like what kind of person do you need
Hmm,
for the work to be done, right? So for example, if I need to hire a UI UX designer, so I would need to understand, do I really need a UI UX designer, or something that might someone of my team can does carry a skill set of UI UX designer,
yeah,
but working as some other professional. So can it be done, because I'll be reducing the cost of hiring, right? So
yeah,
I don't want my company to spend onto that. So I need to think a lot through business perspective, from my employer perspective, and then through the employees as well. So what will happen if someone in your team is there that is already has a skill set of a UI designer? So you can you can provide some of the benefits to that employer. that either you can bump into the salary, or maybe you can provide some goodies or in some other monetary terms, and
Hmm.
then you can get the work done from that person. Otherwise, in other terms, I would say like you need to understand what kind of UI designer you are expecting like to be hired,
Hmm.
and then what is the years of experience that you are looking for, what is the tools, what is the skill set that you are again looking. So all these things needs to be very clear in the very first before getting it to be done. So again, hiring comes in different stages. You need to make sure that each stages is follows, and then after you need to interview a lot of candidates again, then you need a proper screening, and then
Hmm.
again, as I said, that whosoever you will be rolling out the offer, you need two or three more backups just in case if the
Yeah.
first candidate doesn't join.
Hmm.
So that's how I do the recruitment part. But retaining, so retaining again, as I mentioned, the my first example of this question, that if someone of that skill set is in your team already, so that's how you retain the employee, right? So you
Yeah.
understand their skill sets, and that's how you pick them for a right work, and they are interested into doing that. So now you are giving that work which they are passionate about, and then you're also providing some extra benefits to them. So
Hmm.
what will happen? They will more enjoy while working there, right?
Yeah.
So they will be more loyal to the company in terms of their mindset. Like few people create their mindset that they like the work, but they doesn't like the company because the company doesn't understand the employee. But
Hmm.
as a good HR manager, you need to understand your employees as well as your company, right?
Hmm.
So we are kind of a balance creator between both the employer and the employer. So that's how I
Hmm.
retain my employees. And then
Yeah.
apart from that, like retention, there are more retention methods. There are some activities that are being planned weekly and then monthly, and then you can also go offset working so that it will give a environmental change for the employees as well. So you can go
Hmm.
to the beaches or maybe some other works like nutrients has been followed into the I would say into the corporate culture. Few people
Hmm.
give offset work to a few of the employees, and maybe all of the employees can go outside and you can plan a trek or something. So that's how you create fun activities, and that's how you retain the employees.
Okay. So that sounds amazing. Now finally, I'd like to ask if you could describe like how do you evaluate employees' performances and how do you manage those?
Okay, so employee performances are managed through their tasks, right? So, for example, there are a lot of candidates that there are a lot of team in your organization. So, for every organization, there is some certain task, and on the basis of which you expect some output, right? So, if there is something work that is assigned to me, so there must be some output that they are expecting.
Hmm.
So output can be into any form, but the perfect output that they are expecting, it could be the challenging factor for the employee to understand, right? And for
Yeah.
that, someone needs to be at that level that they can understand what the employer is expecting from me, right? So for
Hmm.
that, you need to understand whatever the thing that you're working on, is it really like as per the expectation whatever you are going to deliver. So first of all, there should be a little bit quality check from the employee itself. So for example, I would say I need to hire five people into the design team, and that should be done within a week or two. So that I would say that I need to understand what kind of people do I need, right? And what are
Hmm.
the expectation of the employer from me? So for that, I need to hire good resource. I need someone who can retain. I need someone who focus more on the skills. Sorry, on the work part instead of working on more on the salary part. Because there are few people join the organization. Those are more interested into the salary. They are not
Hmm.
interested into the work. They just come
Yeah.
for the salary. They take the salary and they go away. So that again needs so the employees must understand what is expected from the employer, right? So
Yeah.
you do an evaluation on the basis there's some appraisal also on the basis of the evaluation only
Hmm.
there are some appraisal systems as well. So basically, you fill up the appraisal system forms where you mention that whatever the targets or whatever the task that has been given to you has been you have been completed it or not. So that's how it goes, and weekly evaluation can be done. So, for example,
Hmm.
there's some pile of work that is to be done in a week. So you can either prioritize your work that this needs to be done on the first priority, and this should be the expected output is this, so that the employer lay out their expectation into the employees, and the employees give out the expectation that as the employer was expecting, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you evaluate the employee. And sorry, I forgot the last question again. There was some part that you were asking into that.
No, no, that was it. Like, I just wanted to know what the process was. So, okay,
Yes, so this is how you edit the template. Yeah.
yeah. So that concludes my questions. I've learned a lot today, and I just wanted to extend my gratitude to you for spending your time, for spending your valuable time, I might add. So, thank you, Mr. Dheeraj, and I wish you the best for your future. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you as well. I wish you
Thank you.
the best.